In the heart of the Western Ghats, tucked away within the misty emerald-green forests of Malenadu, lies the village of Nalkeri. To a stranger passing through, Nalkeri looks like a slice of paradise. It is a place where time seems to have slowed down, where the air is thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming coffee blossoms. But Nalkeri is famous for something else. Something that seems impossible in our modern, chaotic world. For 25 years, this village has recorded 0 crimes. No thefts, no violent brawls, and certainly no murders. The local police station has become a relic of a bygone era. Its walls are covered in moss, its files are coated in thick layers of dust, and the handcuffs in the drawer have started to rust. Inspector Govindu, the man officially in charge of the law, has long since traded his khaki uniform for a farmer's dhoti. He spends his days tending to his paddy fields, believing that his village is truly a sanctuary of peace. But as the old saying goes, the deepest silences often hide the darkest secrets. In a village this quiet, silence isn't always a sign of peace. Sometimes, silence is a heavy blanket used to muffle a scream that has been echoing for decades. On a night when the clouds finally burst and a torrential downpour lashed against the wooden roofs of Nalkeri, that silence was shattered forever. Srinivasaiah, the wealthiest, most powerful and most respected man in the village, was found dead in his sprawling ancestral home. By dawn, the village elders had already gathered on his porch. They whispered among themselves, nodding in agreement that it was surely a heart attack brought on by old age. They were desperate. They wanted a quick funeral. They wanted the body cremated before the sun went down. Their priority wasn't justice. It was protecting the village's pristine record. They didn't want a single FIR to ruin 25 years of perfect history. However, as Inspector Govindu stood over the landlord's body, his old instincts, buried under years of farming, began to stir. He noticed things the others chose to look past. There was a faint, purple bruise near the windpipe. There was a broken vase tucked behind a curtain. And most hauntingly, there was a look of sheer, frozen terror in the dead man's eyes. Srinivasaiah didn't die peacefully in his sleep. He died fighting for his life. This was not a natural passing. This was a cold, calculated murder. As Govindu begins to ask the first real questions the village has heard in a generation, he quickly realizes he is not just hunting a killer. He is fighting the soul of the village itself. The elders turn cold. His neighbors stop meeting his gaze. The very people he thought were his friends now view him as a threat to their harmony. But Govindu isn't alone for long. Rohit, a young man who grew up in the city but returned to Nalkeri with a bag full of modern technology, joins the investigation. Alongside them is Pankaja, a local girl whose family has lived in the village for generations, and whose quiet nature hides a sharp, observant mind. Together, they begin to peel back the layers of the landlord's seemingly perfect life. Srinivasaiah was seen as a benefactor, a man who provided for the poor and settled disputes fairly. But as Rohit uses his digital tools to trace old records and Govindu uses his intuition to read the shifting expressions of the villagers, they discover a hidden compartment beneath the floorboards of the landlord's private study. Inside they find a diary. Its leather cover is cracked, and its pages are yellowed by decades of moisture. This was not a book of business transactions. It was a detailed ledger of sins. The diary pulls our story back 50 years, into the dark shadows of the 1970s. Back then, Nalkeri was a different world, ruled by a young, ambitious, and ruthless Srinivasaiah. The diary reveals a horrific incident that the modern village was built upon. It speaks of a betrayal so deep that it involved the entire village council of that time. They had committed a crime that shook the very foundations of their morality, and in the aftermath they made a pact. They agreed to never speak of that night again. They chose to trade their truth for a forced, artificial prosperity. They buried their guilt deep in the forest, believing that time would eventually wash away the blood. But as Govindu reads the frantic final entries of the diary, he realizes that the forest does not forget. Srinivasaiah had been living in fear for weeks before his death. He had been receiving anonymous notes, each one a reminder of the night he thought everyone had forgotten. Someone was back. Someone who had been living in the shadows, waiting for 30 long years for the perfect moment to strike. This person was an Agnyathavasi, one who lives in exile, unseen but always present. The atmosphere in Nalkeri turns from peaceful to paranoid. The investigation becomes a psychological game of chess. Govindu starts to see the cracks in the people he has known his entire life. He looks at the village doctor who was so eager to sign the death certificate, and wonders what he was promised. He looks at the priest at the local temple who suddenly avoids the police station, and wonders what secrets have been whispered in the confessionals over the years. The zero-crime record of Nalkeri is finally shattered when a second body is discovered near the old well. Panic grips the streets. The villagers, once so united in their silence, begin to turn on one another. Accusations fly and old grudges resurface. Rohit and Pankaja find themselves in grave danger as they get closer to identifying the mysterious figure from the 1970s. During a thrilling chase through the rain-soaked coffee plantations, where the visibility is near zero and the mud threatens to swallow them whole, the line between the hunter and the hunted becomes blurred. Govindu realizes that the killer isn't just seeking a simple revenge. They are performing a ritual of justice, recreating the sins of the past to punish the children of the present. The tension reaches a breaking point in the final climax of the film. Govindu tracks the final set of clues to an abandoned colonial bungalow sitting on the very edge of the forest, a place the locals call the House of Shadows. Inside, amidst the cobwebs and the decaying furniture, he finally comes face to face with the architect of the chaos. The revelation is not what anyone expected. The killer is not a monster or a professional hitman. It is a victim, a person whose life was systematically destroyed by the collective cruelty of the village council decades ago. As the rain hammers down on the roof, the killer gives a heartbreaking monologue, explaining how they lived as a ghost in their own home, watching the very people who ruined them celebrate their peaceful lives. The killer challenges Govindu with a question that lingers long after the scene ends. They ask him, is a peace built on a mountain of lies truly worth protecting? Is a law that ignores the suffering of the innocent really a law at all? Govindu is forced to confront his own role in this. By ignoring the small injustices for 25 years to keep the record clean, he had become an accomplice to the biggest injustice of all. As the first light of dawn finally breaks over the mountains of the Western Ghats, the village of Nalkeri is forever changed. The sign at the entrance of the village, proudly boasting of its zero-crime status, is found lying in the mud, broken in half. The police sirens, a sound that hasn't been heard in a generation, echo through the valley as the truth is finally carted away in handcuffs. Govindu sits at his old wooden desk, the diary from the 1970s open in front of him. He decides that he will not hide the truth any longer. He realizes that Agnyathavasi, the exile, wasn't just the person who committed the murders. The truth itself had been in exile for 30 years, waiting for someone with enough courage to bring it back home. The story of Nalkeri is a haunting reminder that every beautiful place has a shadow, and every silence is a story waiting to be told. It teaches us that you can bury a body, and you can bury a secret, but eventually the earth will give them back. If you ever find yourself in a place that seems a little too perfect, or a village that seems a little too quiet, take a moment to look into the shadows. You might just find a truth that has been waiting decades for you to find it. The story of Agnyathavasi ends not with a sense of victory, but with a somber understanding of human nature. We must face our past or it will eventually face us. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the mystery of Nalkeri. If this story moved you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dive movie explanations. We will see you in the next one.